Hey, this is Julius with IEL. I work for the mechanical team, and I am here with Tim and Steve, and we're just bringing up some exciting updates that we have with the shops for owner-operators. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Good.
Cool.
Glad to be here.
While we're doing this video, we appreciate everyone tuning in. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them. So first, let's talk dump valves.
Yeah, thanks, Julius. So dump valves, one of the things that's been a big hot topic here recently is, hey, why don't we have dump valves on our trucks? We've had tons of feedback from all of our driving associates about the need for wanting dump valves on the trucks. We had a reason a few years ago that we opted to remove those. And the thought concept is it would keep all the trailers at the same height, and it would help us to reduce injuries and things of that nature when it comes to hooking up to trailers. The good news is we've decided that we're going to start respecing dump valves in all of our tractors. And we're also going to be converting our large number of our tractors with dump valves. So just to give you a quick update, the Volvo and the Kenworth are going to be fairly easy conversions, not much involved at all. Just a couple switches on the Kenworth and a harness, and a Volvo is just a switch. Freightliners and internationals are going to be a little bit more laborsome. It's going to take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to do the conversion. You're actually going to have to change a harness and actually change the leveling valve on the tractor itself. And so we're working closely to get all the parts pricing and things put together so that if we have an owner that wants to get that conversion done, we want to make sure we get them a really good price to be able to do that conversion. So we're excited. All of our new trucks will have it, coming out next year. And then we're going to convert all of our current trucks that we have in the fleet today on the company side. And then if an owner wants it, we're definitely going to be able to get them set up to do that conversion. So we're pretty excited about it.
Hey, Tim, real quick, for those that are listening to us that don't know what the dump valve is, you want to explain to them what the dump valve does?
Sure. Yeah. So what the dump valve does is it when you activate it, it lowers the suspension on the tractor. So to lower it up to a foot or so. So if you had a trailer that maybe was not cranked up high enough and you were struggling to get underneath it, you could lower the airbags back underneath it and then raise the airbags and then continue to hook on to the trailer. And it makes it a lot easier for the driver.
Yeah.
Cool. So is that it that we're going to discuss about dump valves?
Well, I think it's important for us all to know that it's going to take time to get that done. We know there's going to be a rush to the shops to get it done once we open it up. It's going to be a couple of weeks. We have to go out and we've got to procure the parts for it and those types of things. And as Tim said, there's a couple trucks that'll probably get done within an hour, but there's going to be a couple more trucks that may take 2 hours to get that done. So
the other thing
work with our shops.
Yeah, the other thing we got to keep in mind, and we don't want to prematurely, say, hey, we're ready to start doing this. We're working on it. As Steve mentioned, we're trying to procure the parts. As a lot of people know, I mean, it's hard to get a lot of different items today due to the impact that COVID's had on different factories and being able, for assembly plants to get caught back up. So we're working to source to make sure we have enough product to be able to start doing these conversions. But keep in mind, we've got several thousands of trucks that we're going to have to do. So we want to make sure we have a good surplus of available inventory before we start opening that up, because what we don't want to do is open it up and then have our driving associates show up wanting it done and we don't have the parts. So that's the phase that we're in right now. We know how to do the conversions. We've got all that figured out. Now we're working on sourcing all the parts and working on the availability. So there will be more to come on this, and we'll keep everyone updated as to when we will officially start this program.
Yeah, and we'll update y'all through the owner-operator portal and also any of the newsletters that come out for the owner-operator. So we'll make sure we update you weekly so you know exactly when we're ready to get started on that.
Okay.
So there's a question that just came in, Tim. What about increasing horsepower and torque for owner-operators? Do you want to explain that or?
Yeah, so I mean, there's some options there that are available to be able to do that. Now we've got to go through and, we have to ask, what, I don't know what we have in our contracts, guys, maybe Julius, that information, but it is possible that we can do some adjustments and increase horsepower and some torque. But it really also depends on too what the parameters are that particular truck has. Some trucks we can do it with, other trucks it may not be mechanically, the right decision to make to increase that horsepower. But we can definitely look at each truck on a truck by truck basis, and then get some feedback from the legal side from the owner operator group. Make sure that there's nothing there that would say, hey, we can't do that. But from the shop's perspective, we could do that. In most applications, we should be able to increase the horsepower. The torque is a little tricky, right? It really depends on what that current torque setting is. You don't want to always run the truck at its max torque setting, because its max torque setting says, hey, it's good up to this point. But once you start exceeding that, or you use it at that torque rating every single day, eventually components can start to prematurely wear. So we don't ever recommend running it at the maximum setting that you can. But if maximum torque was, say, 2,900 foot-pounds, and your truck was set at 2,500, and you wanted to put it to 26, you could do that.
And I think
the miles per gallon, though,
it will affect the miles per gallon. It will, but anything you do to the truck will do that. And that's one thing before anybody makes a decision that wants to change the horsepower or torque on any engine, is really make sure you look at it, because we really work hard at maximizing our parameters in our engines to run the most efficient way it can be ran.
And to Steve's point, that's exactly what we do. We look at it to say, how can we, number one, get the best performance out of the truck with the best fuel economy, right? We don't want the truck to be completely, gutless, but at the same time, we want to make sure it's getting real good fuel economy as well. And we've spent, 25 plus years team developing the process that we have to spec these trucks, to make sure that they are fuel efficient and yet still have the power needed to pull the steep grades with the heavy load. So there's a lot of science put behind it, but we can help you through that. We can say, hey, if you do this, this is what's going to happen, right? But anytime you increase horsepower and you increase torque, you're going to lower fuel economy every time.
Okay. So with those, IEL would need to give an approval to change the parameters on the equipment. Yeah. So just keep that in mind on our equipment, at least.
Right. Any changes need to be approved through the IEL programs.
Right.
All right. So I had another question that comes up with my owners that I speak to on the phone. And they were asking about scheduling services. They said they'll take it into the shop, and sometimes it'll be a while. And so a lot of guys want to know, and gals out there want to know, how could they schedule PM service at a terminal?
Well, I'll take that one, Tim. So when you're looking at scheduling any type of services into the shop, no matter if it's a PM service or, you've been driving it for thousands of miles and you got a squeaky seat, you want to get it fixed, and you want to do it timely. So the two ways to really get in for a PM service is, one is use the PM scheduling service email, which comes across at this time across the bottom of the board, or the phone number, which is 602-735-9394. We have a PM team scheduling that's on work basically from about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time to about 4 o'clock on the Western side. So you have those, about 10 hours a day to schedule PMs into a shop that you would like to have your service done. The other piece is when you want to, if you're going to be, you're 100 miles away from Troutdale, Oregon, and you need to get something done to your truck, call the Troutdale facility. Or if you're going up to, if you're going to be in Lathrop, California, or Phoenix, Arizona, call the shops directly and get scheduled in so they know that they can get you in when you show up. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean just because you called in, you're going to get in when you first get in, because we already have a lot of work lined up for that day, usually. But at least your name's on the list, and we'll get you in as quickly as possible by doing that.
And Steve, just to add on that, to your point, so calling ahead is always a great idea, because it'll do a couple things like Steve said. It'll let them know you're coming, but more importantly, they'll be able to give you approximately, an ETA about what time they would be able to start working on your truck. And then another thing, when you call the PM scheduling number, as Steve mentioned, it's about 4 a.m. Eastern time to about 3:30, Phoenix time. It's manned, but if it's after hours, you can leave a voicemail, and they will get that scheduled and follow up with you the next morning when they come in. And that's manned Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, there's currently no one manning that. But if you leave a voicemail over the weekend, when they come in on Monday morning, they'll get to it and they'll let you know and reach back out to you to help you get your service scheduled. And that would be a PM service. So we're talking oil change and lube jobs is what that number in the PM scheduling emails for.
Yeah, and I think another good thing to be thinking about is a lot of you have home terminals, right? You like to get your work done at your home terminal. So if you're in there today and you're getting your PM service done and you want to schedule when you come in next time, it's a perfect opportunity to schedule ahead on your next time you're in for you're in hometown, and it will get your service done at that time too, or any service at that point. But really builds your relationship up with your home shop, and it makes life a lot easier for you. It's a way that for you to have conversations in between services. If you got problems with your trucks when you're going down the road, they can help you if you do break down. It's just a great resource for you to build a good relationship up with your home shop.
Right. And guys, it looks like we got a question from Drew. Says, what's an MRP truck? So I can answer that. So an MRP truck is a company truck that is, low miles. They're usually under 450,000 that we go through and we can convert over, bring that truck all the way up to complete standards, do a nice wax and polish job on it. And then we make that truck available to somebody to purchase if they want to become a owner operator within Swift. And it's a real good way for you to get a good quality truck at a much cheaper price than if you were purchasing a new one. So it's been a very successful program. I don't know off the top of my head how many trucks that we've sold since we've started this, but I want to say it's somewhere close to the 150 mark. And it's been, we've had really good success with it. And then obviously, any issues come up with that truck, we take really good care of it. And then there's a whole other spill of, items that are included in the lease that you do. So certain items from a maintenance perspective, you would not have to pay for. Other items you would. But it's a very good, solid program for somebody that's wanting to become an owner operator and have a really good quality truck and not have to pay full prices if you would for a brand new one.
Yeah, because with some of those big repairs on that maintenance repair program, we'll cover 80%, and then the customer is just responsible for the 20% deductible.
Right.
It's been working out good on my side, at least.
Well, and I think the other thing is, I think you can pay that truck off and own it outright in like 3 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. I may be wrong on that, but I think it's somewhere around that 3-year mark.
Yeah, once the lease is up on it, I believe the residual is anywhere from around 10 to 12. So it makes it an easy truck to pay off.
Right.
It's an excellent opportunity for the next step. If you're a company truck guy today, you want to become an owner, it's an easy way to get in. And if you like it, then you can get to the next step and order you a new truck and keep moving.
Yeah. Oh, and I had another one coming up with us swapping over to Zonar. When's the messaging going to be fixed on the Zonar?
So let me start off by saying this. So number one, Zonar is cutting edge technology. And anytime we make that transition, we're taking this leap. We know there's going to be problems, and we've had our share of problems with Zonar. The important thing is that we're fixing those problems every day, and we believe that Zonar is the future. It's going to give us so much more capabilities. More importantly, it's going to give the driver so many more capabilities of being able to easily, reach out and talk with somebody or be able to, really have a nice usable tool that they can maneuver around the cab of the truck with. So what's happening right now, and I'm sure we have some long-term owners and company drivers that are watching this. So we have the OmniTrack system, which we had for years. And in our OmniTrack system, we worked with our shop maintenance software system, and we had it set up to where we can actually type in messages in there, and it'll send the message not only to your truck, but it'll also send it to your cell phone and come over in a text message. So for example, if the repairs were done, we type in there repairs are complete. It sends it to the Qualcomm, it sends it to the driver leader, but it also sends it to the driver's phone. When we switched to Zonar, that piece got missed. That mapping piece that we need to be able to get that messaging sent over was missed. We have all the data elements. We've got a team that's working on it. We don't have an ETA yet, but what's got to happen is they're going to be converting that and copying all the data points, and they've got to patch it in to make it feed to the Zonar, but more importantly, feed to the driver's cell phone. And so we've got a team that's working on that. We've already got our software request form. It's out there. It's approved. There's a couple other Zonar projects that that took priority over that one. For example, getting our correct idle percentage numbers fixed on the Zonar trucks. We know there's an issue. I'm happy to say that I'm actually signing off on that test script today. So that fix for the false idle percentages will roll out either tomorrow or Monday next week. And so as we get those issues fixed, then the next one we're going to work on is getting the routing piece working correctly. For example, the fuel route recommendations. And once that's done, then they're going to fix the messaging. So we're probably a couple months out from having that messaging fixed, but we'll keep you updated on it. We know it's an issue. We know how much everyone likes getting those text message notifications. And so as soon as we have that fixed, we'll let everyone know so that everyone can, anticipate when they'll be able to start using that again.
Okay. And one that I saved that I wanted to ask last on my side was, what's the advantages of taking the truck to a Swift shop over taking it to an outside shop?
Well, I think one of the major the issues deals with the owner operator and the shops is the relationship that you can build, right? Get the relationship with the people. If you take your truck to a dealer, it's between you and that dealer, right? There's nobody protecting you at that point. If you bring it to a Swift shop, we're in your bucket, right? We want to take care of you. We're gonna do everything we can right for you. We're gonna protect you. We're gonna do the warranty for you, and we're gonna make sure that you are purchasing parts. You're gonna get the parts that belong on the truck. You're not gonna get offshoot type parts on your equipment. We're gonna put OEM parts on it. The other piece to that is to make sure that you don't get overcharged for not only your parts, but to get overcharged just on labor rates, right? That's out there today, right? There's labor rates as high as $180 an hour, depending on the OEM that you're going to be faced with. And once you go to those outside dealers, we really have not a lot of power to change those $180 labor rates. And then your parts cost, we have some power because we do buy a lot of Freightliners, we buy a lot of Volvos, a lot of Internationals, and a lot of Kenworths. But really, these owner operators, they own their own shops, and they don't like to walk back any costs if they don't have to, right? So the biggest advantage is coming into us, gaining the relationship. We'll protect you on the pricing of parts. The hourly rates are already protected for you, where you're going to save $50 to $100 an hour by coming to a Swift shop and getting those things done. And always remember, the shops are here for you. There's 54 shops across the country. Every one of them are trained the same way. We have a great training team that trains our team, our shop guys, to work on the OEM's equipment. So that's a huge benefit there too.
Yep.
So anyway, Tim.
Yeah, there just a couple other things to add to that. I mean, Steve, everything you said is spot on, but There's a couple other things that we do that we go above and beyond. Number one, the labor rate, the parts pricing, we're going to take care of you on those things. But the other thing that we do at our shops that a lot of folks may or may not know is if we think that that's warranty and our system says, hey, that's warranty, we're going to do that repair and we're going to do everything we can to get that repair covered for you at no cost. And if something happens, it ends up not being warranty, then we have a whole team that's going to go back and look at getting policy. We may ask for some help. And I can tell you, in my 30 years at this organization, the number of owners that we have helped and saved them so much money, it blows my mind. But the most important thing, guys, is we stand by what we do, right? If we mess up, we're going to fix that problem. No matter what it takes, we will make it right somehow, some way. And we're always looking out for your best interest. Even if you want to, come in and it's something that we don't feel is in our wheelhouse or something that, we think, hey, we're not the ones that can take care of this repair for you. Say, for example, you drop a valve. But what we will do is we'll reach out to the local dealers. We'll make sure you're getting the rate that we would pay if we were going through and doing it on, a company unit. And we would make sure that your labor rates and all those things are in line. And we'll manage that repair from you from start to finish and keep you updated as to what's going on. And we won't make any, decisions without your input. But we're going to do everything we can to get that truck fixed at the lowest possible cost to you and make sure it's done right with good quality parts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep. And it looks like we got a question from, I think, Daniel, asking, at the end of my current lease, can I turn my truck into an MRP truck? And so I'm assuming that Daniel may be leasing a current truck, wanting to know if they can turn it into an MRP.
Yeah.
And that I don't know.
Logan answered it. He said, depending on miles and condition of the service and the service records.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want us to talk about, Julius?
That's all I had today.
Are there does anybody else have any other questions that they want to ask that may be listening in, or any other topics you may want to talk about?
There we go.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity today to be here to talk to you about the owner operators. We love our owner operators. We want to do as many owner operators in a day that we can. And with the other thing we want you to do is just give us feedback. We're not going to get any better. And if there's things that you have heartburn with, get it to our leadership and we'll take care of it. And we'll get back to you the same day that you're asking us. So please do that. Appreciate all the work that you guys do day in and day out there, running safe miles and keeping those trucks rolling for all of us.
Yeah, thank you guys. I ditto everything that Steve said. So thank you very much. Good opportunity. If there's anything we can do for you, just reach out to us and let us know.
Yeah. Tim, Steve, I thank you for your time. All the owners out there, if you need me, a lot of you call me already. So just reach out, be safe, and be blessed.